Gunlax, 327-3052.
That wasn't so bad.
Welcome back to the Renegade Report. I'm Francis Mayer, Sports Information Director of the world's finest community college athletic program. And right now we're checking in with two members of the basketball team, but you both have different roles. Rosebrook, you rebound the basketball. Gabby, you teach the basketball.
I make them run.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. I don't make them run at all.
Yeah, well, maybe you do. We were just talking about something, though, that's an interesting topic, and it's the topic of pain. Rosebrook, you've been dealing with it, right?
Yes.
What's going on with you?
I have a contusion and a strain in my knee, and I also have a strained calf.
Wow. And what are you doing about that?
I'm in the training room every day for about 2 hours, getting stim, heating, ultrasound, doing exercises, doing everything I can to try to get back on the floor.
But your attitude is there's only 3 weeks left in the season.
Yeah, so I'm going to try to push through it. And
But Coach Gabby and I are telling you that you probably have another 70 to 80 years of life
Yep.
Yes.
in this bod.
But the doctor said that there won't be any damage. It's just pain, like how much pain I'm comfortable
Did you
playing
ask the
with.
doctor if he was an athlete? If he played sports?
No.
Yeah, because he didn't start playing golf till he was 45, making about
Well, it was actually-
$750,000 a year.
it
And
was
he's like,
actually-
sometimes I got a sore back and I take me an Advil. It's like, no, athletic pain is a different type of pain.
It was a little old lady.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I have that one totally wrong. Anyway, so she probably doesn't golf at all. Okay.
No.
Very good.
Maybe sewing, a few knitting.
Gabby, but you know what being an athlete is all about. Tell us about your career, actually.
Well, regarding pain, my sophomore year at BC, I had like a whole list of injuries. Starting in November, I had a concussion.
How did you
And
get concussed?
It was during practice. I just got hit right here, like around my temple with someone's shoulder.
Paula
Button.
wasn't having her that day. She said,
I thought I was fine. And Paula's like, are you sure? Like, do you want to go to the trainer? And I was like, no, I'm fine. And then like not even 5 minutes later, I just sat down on the floor. And then she's like, all right, Gabby, you need to go. And then in December at a tournament, I had a high ankle sprain, which messed up a bunch of ligaments in my ankle. And then so I was out for 2 weeks with that. And then after a week of being back, I got hurt again. I had a lateral foot sprain in my right foot and a slight high ankle sprain. So it was a rough year.
No, it what? No,
It was a rough year.
And now, though, we know so much more about injuries. We know so much more about pain. We know so much more about concussions,
Yeah.
right? And before they were funny, like me and I wrestled, and me and my teammates all had funny concussion stories. I got thrown on my head once at the Fortuna Rotary tournament. I was trying to push this. I was pushing this kid, right? And he was trying to flee the mat, and he took all my weight, like me pushing into him, and he threw me perfectly. Like feet were pointing straight up in the air. I came right down on my head, and it sounded like a light bulb broke in my head. And I woke up because my coach was screaming at me because he thought I was being lazy. He thought I was taking my time. And I sat up, and it was like Tweety birds and everything. And the ref was like, do you know where you are? And he had me hold my arms up, and the sign for the tournament was right above his head. And I was just like, yep, Fortuna Rotary tournament. And he was like, all right, let's wrestle. I won the match. But afterwards,
A little loopy, huh?
oh man, was I? I took one strap off my singlet and I put my warm-up pants on and did not put the top on, and I walked around the gym. And my assistant stopped me and he's like, hey dude, what's up? Oh, I'm great, man. I feel great. He was like, you ought to take your singlet off and put your warm-up on. Like I was looking like a caveman. And yeah, I slept for like 13 hours that night. And, you know, but people know a lot more now. We have to take care of our bodies. And fitness is a big part of that, right? Yes. And how important is conditioning to Lady Renegade's success?
Jesus, Mary. we go with the running renegades. We're the renegades.
You're the renegade.
Yeah. So basically, every time we go out there, she said we want to run them. Running defense, running rebounding defense.
But Gabby, did you ever run into athletes in your playing career? I know I did, who were like physical geniuses, but they were lazy. And
That was me.
Okay.
And Lacey Tarver.
Oh, snap. Does she? Okay, but what happens? And we won't name names. But do they? Those athletes sometimes? And I wasn't the most talented wrestler, but I was in good condition. And there were dudes that would put it to me for the first two periods, and then in the third period they would fall apart. They were lazy, just gulping for air, and bodies couldn't do what they wanted them to do. So conditioning, good conditioning, not only does it prevent injury, but it can also help you beat a more
It
talented
helps you in
opponent.
the long run.
Yeah, at the beginning of the season, we ran a mile every single day at 7 a.m. We had to make our times. So that helps with endurance too. But
Right, and you guys do stay pretty active.
yeah, especially preseason, we were running a lot.
How does this conditioning program, and you went on, tell us about the next step for you. You went from BC to
Missouri Valley College. It's an NAIA school in Missouri, and the conditioning was way different. My first year there, she had us doing a lot of distance stuff. Like we would run like 2 miles to the park and then do a bunch of agility stuff there and then have to run back, make it back in like 20 minutes after already running 2 miles and then doing a bunch of other stuff. And then my second year, it was more like sprints, a little bit of long distance, but mainly like sprints and focusing on like sprinting on the floor because that's where we would be doing most of our running. So I like the second year better because we didn't have a lot of distance.
No,
I hate running.
Well, and those are two totally different disciplines. Like, not all runs were created equal. Like, doing stadiums is different than doing sprints, is different
Yeah.
than doing distance.
Yes.
It's all like, in my opinion, it's all different to help you like be endured at the end of the game. When it's 1 minute left, you're down 1, and you're on the free throw line. That's where that comes in my opinion. You're focused, you're ready, you're not tired, you're not thinking about being tired because you've already conditioned your body.
Right, and you have that extra gear to keep going, and it's pivotal. And especially like playing in high school, it's such a, and if there are high school athletes watching, get ready. Because being in college condition, the season is longer. If you wrestle, there's more matches. And by the way, everybody's kind of good.
The competition is
It's
raised.
way different.
You don't run into bums. You don't run into people whose parents are forcing them to play a sport.
Yeah.
Like, everybody is showing up to do it.
And it's a lot faster paced than in high school. Everything is quick and you're going. You don't have time to.
To lollygag,
yeah.
or, hey,
Nope.
what's up?
If you're
No.
jogging, you're out. Like, it's running. We're all about running.
And Coach Dahl will do that.
Yes.
Quick hook.
Yes.
You're laughing down there, Gabby.
Yes.
Was NAIA faster than being in BC?
Yeah. It was a wake-up call when my first game. I was like, whoa, I'm not at BC anymore. The girls are just stronger, and they're faster, and they're not afraid to push you around. They don't care.
And did you find, because you alluded to earlier in the segment that you were one of those people who had a ton of natural talent and maybe
And
didn't.
I was lazy. I was very lazy.
Oh my God, we're having like a moment right now.
I was very lazy.
And do you wish maybe that you would have worked harder?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think about that every day. I should have worked harder because I probably wouldn't have gone to an NAIA school. I probably could have gone NCAA.
And therein is the lesson in sports.
Yes.
And it's hard for folks, and I know I'm older than you, but when we see athletes who are talented, and there's no way we can tell you guys how brief this time is, and that every day is like, you cannot relive it. Never again will you be this age. Now, there are plenty of challenges later in life. No, you're aging very well, Rosebrook. I've seen your Facebook page, okay? We know you have options, all right? So let it go. But the point is, with athletics, it's a very finite amount of time, and you've got to make the most of it. You've got to work hard. And I think, by and large, your team this season has done just that. I mean, I don't want to say that you're a lock for the playoffs because anything can happen. We've seen that. We've seen that time and again. But let's go to the small picture for a minute and talk about last night's win in Santa Monica. Actually, Steve, Chris, if we could pull up those highlights of the women's game.
Oh, yes.
This isn't from Santa Monica. This is another game. This is Kyla Dean. Boy, she's had a great second half of the season.
She has a lot. She stepped up.
And this is the Citrus game, just to acquaint you. Here's the drive. Watch this. Get out. How does it feel to have a shot block like that against you? Is it demoralizing?
I get mad.
I don't think I've ever had a shot blocked in a game, but in practice, sometimes Alex or Yo will come up and I'm like, man, and it's the short people too. I don't care if it's big people, but it's the little guards that get you, and it's like, why?
We do have really good guards on this Renegades team, don't
Yes.
we? We have Yo, we have Green, we have...
Kyla kind of steps in sometimes as a point guard.
That's a point, yeah.
Yeah,
She's
but
usually like a 2 guard.
Yeah, and I feel like two folks, and Stephen Lynch brought this up earlier, two ladies who have kind of contributed in key ways recently. Marissa Jones has stepped up.
Yes.
And Kyla, both of them. I mean, they're good ball players. But talk about that. Who else has been a second half surprise or revelation? And how has Marissa helped, Coach?
Marissa, she goes out there and she does what we ask her to do. We ask her to defend a certain player, don't let him catch the ball, and that's exactly what she does. And she works her butt off when she's in the press. She doesn't want the ball going past half court, so she does whatever she can to make sure it doesn't.
Rosebrook
Yes.
Hunt, can you tell me your opinions on that? Who have been some surprises, like as the season's gone on, folks who have stepped up?
I would say probably like Marissa and Kyla. Who else has surprised me sometimes?
Well, Michaela's had a pretty
Michaela's
good
usually
season,
an
but
all-around good
lately
player.
she's been stepping up a little bit more.
But I would say Marissa has been doing a lot more on offense now that she has been on defense. Because usually before she was all defense, and like last night she had a double-double. She's been getting rebounds, going up strong. Her confidence is like through the roof. And Kyla has stepped up a lot on defense too.
This team just seems to have a lot of depth.
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of like they always say, coach is always like, well, in the game she'll get frustrated. And Clarence, our other coach, is like, well, we got a whole bench to go through. Like, go ahead. Like, if we're in foul trouble, we're like, yep, we got more. Just send them in.
We do. We have a never-ending stream of renegades.
Yes.
Like the Lady Gades, the Renegades.
Yeah.
They are deep, and that conditioning is probably part of it. One thing that's been interesting to me is like you play a team approach to basketball, and when you haven't, unfortunately, the results have been pretty obvious.
Mm-hmm.
But Nakia, she keeps getting better, it seems like, as the season is. Is that how you guys feel?
She's she's going to score regardless.
Yeah.
You can have 3 people on her. She's still going to find a way to score.
Right.
That's a
She's gonna
natural
say,
scorer
"Oh,
right
hey,
there.
What's up?
Yeah.
You like
Excuse
playing
me.
with her.
Yeah. In practice, I mean, it's really good for me, competition for me to get better too. And, I don't really know what to say.
You said it all right there. I mean, I think that's one of the highest compliments you can pay a teammate is when you compete against them in practice, it makes you better.
Yes.
I mean, I ran into that. I think I remember those guys more than I remember some people that I wrestled from other schools, sparring partners, guys that I trained with in practice who absolutely made me better. And it's like when you're close to someone, you are almost frenemies with that person.
Yeah, it's
right?
like sometimes in practice, and especially when we do competition days, I'm like, oh my god, seriously. And then when I beat her too, I'm like, yes.
Right?
Like, yes. I'm like, okay.
But that's a very sibling-like relationship too.
Yeah, yeah.
You love them, but they infuriate you in many ways because you're close enough to them to know them so well, right?
Yeah.
But you guys have held it together. We all hope you continue to. Your team is so fun to watch. I mean, I think I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I love watching you guys, and I want to watch you more. And that involves making the playoffs. So I hope you keep doing what you're doing. I hope you stay healthy and take care of your body.
Yeah.
Coach, good to have you on this year.
Yeah.
Are you going to stick around? You going to be back next year?
I want to, but it kind of depends on because I need to go back and get my master's.
Yes, you do.
So I'm kind of
And you're
waiting
not
on
lazy
that.
anymore.
No, I know I need to go do that as much as I don't want to deal with school anymore, but I'm going to go back and get that. I was going to try and start in August, but I might push it back to kind of gain more experience coaching-wise because I want to be a grad assistant so I can get my master's paid for. So that's the main reason Paula let me come back, and she's like, okay, well, besides me being her favorite, of course, but
Can you believe this, Rose?
Yes, I
And she's humble.
deal with
Awesome.
this every day.
Ladies, thank you so much for being on the show. We'd love to talk again next week, but right now we got to take a break because coming up, we have a guy who is taking it to the next level right now. He's headed to Division I and perhaps the NFL after that. His name is Kalen Smith. He's got some relatives who are already in the league, and now that the dust has settled from his signing, we're going to have a chit-chat with him and find out what's going on in Smithland. We'll be right back with more of the Renegade Report.